Okay, so we got to talk about the situation that's unfolding, like, right now as we speak. Israel's launching a ground operation into southern Lebanon. Yeah, you heard that right. They are targeting Hezbollah.
And this is big. It's a major development.
Huge, huge deal. So to really like wrap our heads around this whole thing, we got to lay down some groundwork, right? Israel's already got their hands full with the conflict in Gaza against Hamas.
Exactly. And just to clarify for everyone, Hamas is another militant group, mainly operating in Gaza, which, by the way, is a whole other conflict zone right next to Israel.
So we're talking about Israel basically fighting on two fronts now, which is never ideal, to say the least. And here's where it gets even more interesting, I guess you could say. Hezbollah. They're not just some random group.
No, they are deeply, deeply ingrained in Lebanese society. They've got serious firepower, tons of experience, and some pretty heavy backing from Iran. It's not exactly a walk in the park for Israel.
So let's get into it. What's actually happening right now, like on the ground? What does this whole escalation look like? Boots on the ground, that sort of thing.
Well, as of last night, September 30th, Israeli tanks rolled into southern Lebanon. They've got air support, artillery, the whole shebang. The official word from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, is they're calling them limited, localized, and targeted raids aimed at Hezbollah.
Limited, they say. This feels anything but, limited.
I'm with you on that. And that's the scary part, right? Things could get really messy really fast, especially since Israel's resources are already stretched thin with the whole Gaza situation. This isn't just a border skirmish. This has the potential to blow up.
Okay, so you mentioned Hezbollah is a force to be reckoned with, right? How does having them involved change the game compared to, say, the situation in Gaza? Give us the rundown.
Well, Hezbollah has this nasty habit of, actually being really good at this whole conflict thing. They've gone toe-to-toe with Israel before,
Mm.
and they haven't exactly lost. They've got this insane network of tunnels, rockets that can actually hit stuff, and they're masters of guerrilla warfare, which, let's be honest, is not exactly Israel's forte.
Oh, right, right. And we can't ignore the whole Iran angle either. They're practically sponsoring Hezbollah. It's like, are we about to see a proxy war 2.0? Nobody wants that.
Nobody. And let's not forget, Israel has stated they have a methodical plan for this operation.
Okay, yeah, their methodical plan. What's that all about? You think they just want to push Hezbollah back a bit, create some breathing room, or are we talking about something bigger here?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's interesting they're using that specific wording, methodical plan. It kind of hints at a long game here. Maybe they're aiming to seriously cripple Hezbollah's capabilities, not just like send a message.
And like, how much of a free hand does Israel have here? I mean, they're operating in another country, right? Lebanon's not just going to sit back and watch this all go down, are they?
Well, that's the thing. This whole situation is incredibly volatile.
Mm.
Lebanon has its own internal politics, and Hezbollah has a lot of influence there. It's a delicate balancing act.
So all this might seem a million miles away for some folks, but I think it's important to emphasize, like, why should we care? Why does this matter to, the average person?
Because what happens in the Middle East doesn't stay in the Middle East, right? It
Mm.
affects everyone. Imagine another war breaks out, oil production gets disrupted. Next thing you know, we're all paying like $10 a gallon for gas.
Hmm.
That's just one example. The economic fallout alone would be crazy.
Exactly. And then there's the human cost. We can't forget about the people caught in the middle of this. On both sides, war is never pretty.
Right. War is absolutely devastating.
So we got to ask, if the IDF, if they really do have this methodical plan they keep mentioning, what's the end game here? What are they hoping to achieve? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but one thing's for sure, this is far from over. Keep your eyes peeled on this one, folks, because this thing could go anywhere.
Absolutely. It's a powder keg right now.
Powder keg is right.